So, it's been a while since we've been in this room here, huh? The main office here. It's my regular bedroom, but I've gone to converting the last year or so now to the basement, to having the videos down there. But I wanted to come back up here to the office, the original office here, main office, where I did a lot of the videos. Because this is a special day today. We're talking about the Big D today. The Big D. And for those of you who have an immature mind, D is 500 in Roman numerals. We're talking about hat number 500 today. 500! Can you believe it? I know that there are other hat collectors out there that have gotten to this milestone, and they are well on their way, either past 1,000 or onto a higher number than that. But I think getting to hat number 500 is pretty significant for any hat collector out there. Any hat collector. It's a pretty big number. That you have endured so much. That you have heard so many goddamn times.
Jeff, you only have one head. Why do you need so many hats?
Jeff, you have one head. Why do you need so many hats?
Jeff, you only have one head. Why do you need so many hats?
Jeff, you have one head. Why do you need so many hats?
Jeffrey, you only have one head. Why do you need so many hats?
For me, I knew I had to make this a special hat. So, we're going to get into the 500th hat, but we're going to also kind of review the different big milestones that I've reached for the collection. This one, gonna give a big shout out to Willie 5950, the big Chicago guy, and he had me hooked up for this special drop that I didn't realize was actually, I got the hat before it was released in stores, so it was just my one time of having some sort of inkling of hat privilege. So thank you to Willie for that assist and help with the connection that you have. So this is gonna be a big day, and despite what I had said before, no, we're not on an OnlyFans page for this video for the Big D celebration. Although let me know in the comments below if you would want me to have an OnlyFans page. Who knows? It might be interesting. It's different for sure. OnlyFans is for things other than what you're thinking about. Come on. It's free tuition here. I gotta make money somehow, some way. So, for sure I don't have any ads going on, so I don't get any revenue from that. We are going to have fun today in class. So, get out a notebook, pen, and pencil because class is in session. Let's go! Let's do a bit of a review of the different 100 hats that I've gone through. We're going to go starting with hat number 100. First time getting to triple digits. This is also a big milestone for a hat collector, getting to 100 hats. That you get to triple digits. Pretty big. For this one, I'm a very sentimental kind of person. And for me, especially with my philosophy, the foundation of my hat collection is I want my hats to have some special connection. it has to connect, and usually in some way, to a person, a place, a thing, an interest of mine that has had some sort of connection or some impact in my life. So, for sure, getting hat number 100, I had to make it a special hat. So, actually, hat number 98, 97, 90, I think it was 98, 99, and 100 were some of the last postseason, 2016 postseason hats that I needed to complete my 2016 postseason hat collection of all the times the Cubs got a hat for being the postseason that year. So this is what they wore for the parade that I skipped class for, I skipped lecture for, European history lecture, to go see. I didn't get this hat at the rally. I had a Cubs 47 brand MVP hat that I've been wearing throughout the whole run for some time. But this one was number 100. Wanted to make it special. It's a snapback, and it's Cubs. So this is perfect. At number 200, going to like 2, 3, and 400, it didn't necessarily matter what the what hat it was. But for hat number 200, I made a custom hat with my last name on it, and this is a design that my brother had made up. This is representative, and it didn't turn out so well on the hat like I wanted to. Kind of very amateur for the editing that I did and the stitch work job that I had kind of used through my other means. But it's supposed to reflect on the Czech Republic flag, that it has the blue on the one side. It's a pretty cool hat. I mean, not a lot of people have a hat with their last name on it. Granted, if I ever lose this hat, they know whose hat this is. So, easy way. Hat number 300. This was a fun one. Toy Story gang. This was a hat club release back in November of 2020. I loved the Toy Story hats that they did back then. I did have, through a hat pimp that we'll call this person, they would give me kind of a proxy way through their hat privilege to get some of the Hat Club hat drops throughout 2020, kind of like in the summer of 2020, and then until like January, February of 21. And I was always pretty conservative of, I'm just going to do a Cubs hat or, one hat for the week, be kind of moderate about it, conservative, and leave it for the other people. But with the Toy Story hats, I went a little bit all out. I got 3 of them from my hat pimp, and then I went back for another one myself later on. So, yeah, the Toy Story one was really huge. Among the other Toy Story hats that I got, this just fell under number 300. Hat number 400 is another Hat Club hat. This is a Cubby gum pack, the Juicy Fruit one. Yeah, I think it's a Juicy Fruit one. I know that they did the gum pack, and I wanted the blue or the green one, but then I got the yellow one. So, I mean, it's still a good hat. It's still a good yellow. This is hat number 400. And so now that we've gone over a proper review, hat number 100, 2, 3, 400, let's get to the big D here. The big 500. I was very methodical, very strategic with which hat is going to be. It had to be a Cubs hat, being this special of a milestone, and thinking, this should somehow relate to Ernie Banks. That's what I wanted. Didn't turn out that way, but it's still a Cubs hat. So I saw it online through Instagram, and I said, I need that hat. That hat, if the timing works out, that'll be my 500th hat. So I want to extend an infatuated, a very large, gigantic thank you to Willie 5950 in Chicago for helping me with the connection that he has to, I believe, I remember the name is Gary from Burdeens. Burdeens, great Chicago store. I've seen them before. I never shop there because whenever they have their big in-store drops, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, I'm usually at work. And I work retail, so it's kind of impossible. I've tried in the past with people to help out with the assists, but it just never worked out. But this time it was secured, so I thank Burdeens for this glorious 500th hat. Part of their Gemstone Anniversary collection. Celebrating the 5th anniversary of the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series, breaking 108 years of our curse. This 5950 Chicago Cubs with the walking bear. 5-year anniversary. I believe, if I remember right, it was sapphire. So the whole hat being a nice blue, a darker blue than a regular Cubby blue hat. A little bit lighter. Almost looks like the Mets or the Royals, but of course not as great a team as the Cubs are. But this is a more classic blue to what I remember some of the older Cubs hats looking when I was growing up. Back in like the 2000s era, I actually have one of those on-field hats. It's a two-tone. Those were their away hats. And it was like a big backstory of the guy who bought it from eBay. He was like a truck driver and got connections with the equipment manager, and they gave him that hat, so it was pretty cool. So this is a nice blue. It's a deep blue. It's the walking Cub. I know that this logo isn't used as much. I don't have many hats with this particular logo on the front. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up. White in this like red shiny stitching. Kind of reminds me of like Ruby. I know that Ruby is not the 5th anniversary. That was in one of the other hats that they used, because there was the 2006 St. Louis Cardinals, although the 2011 Cardinals in their World Series one was a little bit more impressive. I actually had a little bit of respect for them at that point. But it's the only time I'll be nice about the Cardinals. The 2001 Diamondbacks had a hat, and I believe the 1992 or 91 Yankees had a hat. Or was it 96? I think it was 96 actually. They were doing the 5, so it would be 6. Anyways, very shiny side patch, very shiny, and all the stitching that's done on the side there. I'll put my finger out of the way so you can see that shine, that pristine side patch. It looks fantastic. I mean, of course, like it's like shiny everywhere. Like there's no part of it that's not shiny. It feels like even like the white stitching has like part of a shine to it. It's glowing. The blue for the World Series is shining, and then the shadow outline of the gold is shining. Ruby kind of outline to it. And then the Batman on the back also has a bit of a shine to it. New Era flag, just simple white, nice pink on her bottom side, and this is what a 500th hat should be. This is what a gem looks like, literally, because it's glowing. Now I just gotta see how well it fits, because I've been having a problem with my head fitting 7.5 hats or 5/8. You know what? This is going to work out. This one's gonna work. It's just ever so tight, but that makes it work really good, because I can then curve the brim a bit, steam it up a little bit, and then it'll disperse the tension in the sweatband here. Let me take the sticker off there. Yeah, this is. It kind of feels like it rides up a little high. But damn, is this a good hat! This is what a masterpiece looks like. Now I have so many other Cubs hats. I think this is Cubs hat number like 90 almost. But this one just has a lot more meaning behind it. It came from Cubs fans. It's meant for Cubs fans like me. Real Cubs fans, not just people out there just collecting hats just because they look good, because I will give this a good home, because I was there. I was wearing my Cubs hat. I was there when they won the World Series. I was there waiting collectively with all those Cubs fans for years, decades, a century for God's sake, waiting for the Cubs to win it all. And it was magical. It was fantastic. So this will be 91. Cubs hat number 91. I talked so many times about what I was doing, where I was, the experience of the Cubs winning the World Series in 2016. It was fucking phenomenal. It was a highlight of my life. It was awesome. I mean, I know that there are other teams out there that have had big droughts, but not like 108 years, not like 100 years. It meant so much. It's going to take a little bit of a time to get back. There wasn't a big dynasty like everyone thought there was going to be, but we got there. The one time we won, the one time it was our first World Series in 76 years. 75 years. No, 70, oh jeez, it was 45, so, no, 71 years. First time in 71 years that we've been to a World Series since the curse of Billy Goat Bill Cianis. It was truly magical. So I absolutely adore this hat. I, again, infatuatedly thank Willie for the connection and Burdeens for sending me this hat and making this, knowing that, you know, Cubs fans would really more appreciate this hat than anyone else would, because that's what hats are still about. That hats can be used for a lot of different things, but the primary purpose for these hats, for a hat, is to support the team that's on the front. That's what they're meant for. And that's why I collect so many Cubs hats. That's the foundation for my collection of, I want these hats because I know I have a connection to them. That it's my favorite team. And among the hats that I've collected over the years, I mean, there's been plenty. Kind of running out of room. I need to kind of expand my storage system. But getting to 500 has been quite a journey. I didn't become like a big hat collector until I got this one at Lids, August 2016. And ever since then, I just really expanded on my hats. I had a few hats beforehand, like maybe 20 or 25, and that was since I was a kid. But ever since getting that hat, I've really blown up as with my collection. And again, so many times I hear groans of, oh, you got another hat. When I worked at the Chicago Board of Elections, there was two Lid stores. There was one on State Street and Michigan Avenue. I always went to the State Street store, and sometimes that's when Lids was still cool, when I could have a online order, go to the store for store pickup, for free pickup, and that way no one at the house would know that I got a new hat, because it wouldn't be shipped to the door front, it'd be shipped to the Lid storefront. And I'd go on, I'm like, alright, I'm going on my 15-minute break, and then I'd go over to the Lid store, come back with my blue bag, and I try to hide it and from my coworkers in the little pod area. And the girl behind me would be like, did you go to Lids again? Maybe. I always hear that at work, whichever work I'm at. You got another hat? I mean, they think it's always like crazy to have that many hats. Anyone does. But they come around to be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and they get interested in, like, you know, which hat I get. Especially more of my Best Buy buddies and coworkers have been getting some interest into the hats that I've been getting. But getting to 500, of course, wouldn't be possible without a lot of you out there. I've been doing hat collecting like this since August of 2016, but I've been doing this hat channel on YouTube since June of 2018. Been around for quite a bit, and had plenty of people that I've met through YouTube and through Instagram too. I'm not going to name everyone because you should know who you guys are out there that are in those little group chats that we have, or that I keep going back and forth with in the comment sections or on Instagram Messenger like that. Really appreciate support and the acceptingness of my addiction, my interest of hats, and always wanting to get something and say like, hey, that's a good hat, or hey, here, I found this hat you might like, and maybe someone got a hat and I'm like, you know, I should get that kind of hat too. Being inspiring. So I really want to also thank you viewers out there, you students out there, my friends out there, for being part of that inspiration and being there throughout all this. So this was a gem of a hat. This is an epic hat. So I for sure had to come back to the roots here, for sure do a big video for this. It probably went for so long, but you know what? You only get one 500th hat in a lifetime. So I had to do this the right way. Before we wrap up class, I want to do a little comparison here of hat number 500 of my collection compared to hat number 1 in my collection. I remember when I was like 5 or 6 years old, got me and my brother Cubs hats, and I got the one with the red brim, he got the one with the blue, because I'm like, oh, it's a two-tone, it's so cool. So even back then, I knew the two-tones were cool. Velcro, genuine merchandise MLB, and still kind of fits, I guess, right? So hat number 500, hat number 1 of my collection, and my first ever hat that I wore, my little knit hat. Not a beanie, it's a knit. Little knit hat. For sure this is not going to fit on my head, but kind of the triangle here of first ever hat, first hat to have, and my 500th hat. So this is a pretty cool triangle here. Mainly Cubs, so if you notice here, a bit of a theme going on. So I'm sure when I get to hat number 1000, M. So when I get to hat number M, which is 1000 in Roman numerals, for sure that's going to be another Cubs hat too. We're going to work on that down the road though. But I think for now, we're just going to appreciate and enjoy the glory that is the gem that is this Burdeens Cubs hat. First Burdeens hat, and I will for sure be making better efforts to be getting more Burdeens hats, because I know that they're really, really good with their hats in general, and they're Cubs fans from what I've seen on their Instagram page. They're big Cubs fans like me, so it's going to be really, really good to want to get into more Burdeens hats and reaching out to getting more. So thank you, Burdeens, again. So, make sure you comment down below if you've gotten to hat number 500, if you've gotten the Big D before. What was your Big D hat? What was your 500th hat? Let me know if you are on your way to 500 hats, what your possible goal of a hat is, and what you might want that hat to be, because, you know, looking back at my list on my spreadsheet that I have in my whole hat collection, you know, looking back, it's kind of weird to think, you know, there have been some hats that I've missed out on, or not even gotten, whether I missed it because the Hat Club website doesn't know how to function, or maybe I didn't get the hat because it was in my hand, and at the time I'm thinking, you know what, I'm already on budget for my hats for my pay period here, my week, so I'm not going to get this one, or like, well, it's okay, but I didn't really like it. So it's kind of weird to think of like all those hats that have kind of built up, those different timings to get to this perfect hat. that Burdeens had made. It is just fascinating how everything just works out the right way. Comment below, where were you when the Cubbies won? The lovable losers won the World Series. Were you listening to Joe Buck on Fox when he called it, or were you listening to the great Pat Hughes when he's calling out the Cubs winning the World Series? As always, make sure you skip the like button. Those numbers don't matter. Always leave a comment. Subscribe to the class. We're working on getting to 1 million subscribers and students in the classroom. We're this close. So make sure you share the video out and subscribe. Get the word out. And we'll have plenty more fun in this school year coming up. As always, hats off to you for watching today. Have a good day, everyone. Class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.